What's up everyone, this is Cyberknight, and today I'm going to open up the brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel Starter Decks for you guys. So yeah, both of these have just been released today. Konami was actually kind enough to send me both of these to open up and make a video of them, so big thank you to them. And basically, this is a new way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! If you guys haven't heard about these so far, because from this, each starter deck actually includes 3 starter decks in them, which, you know, going with the 3 characters on the front. So with this one, with Yugi on the front, we have Destiny Masters, is what it's called, starter deck Destiny Masters. You get a deck for Pegasus, Ishizu, and of course Yugi, or a Tim, or whatever name you want to go with. The Pharaoh, Yami, all those work. I'm just going to say all of them. And then, of course, for the other deck of cards, this one is Duelists of Tomorrow. You get a deck for Kaiba, Joey, and Mai. So these are just really cool. I like the idea of them because, again, it's another way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's more like Duel Links. Because you're actually using a 20-card deck in this. You even get these skill cards, which is basically like the ability that the character had. Like, for example, Pegasus can help you like see your opponent's hand. You know, and there's different, like, skills to it, just like in Duel Links. So it's basically taking Duel Links and printing actual cards with them, and even making it so you're using the older cards again, too. And that's what I like on this, because I believe Joey is like, yeah, Joey's like the only one that even uses fusion monsters. And of course, there are no link monsters. There's no Xyz summoning, synchros, none of that. So I feel like this will even be a good way to get people back into the game if they haven't played for a while. But basically, here's this one first. You can see all the different card lists and stuff. You're getting their main monsters, too. I mean, you have your Dark Magician, Gravekeepers for Ishizu, have the Toon Monsters for Pegasus. So all those are really cool. And there's the card list, too. If you guys want to, you know, if you need a pause or whatever, there you go. And you even get some new ultra rares from this, too. So it's even, like, taking some older cards and giving them new printings, which I'm always a fan of that, I gotta be honest. And then for this one, again, I still think it's funny that Kaiba and Joey are together, but you actually get Blue Eyes White Dragon and Red Eyes from this one. And of course, for Mai, she is using the Amazoness cards, which, yeah, and she's using some of the Harpy Ladies too. Okay, I thought she was using both. But yeah, let's go ahead and just open up both these. Thought it makes sense just to put them together in one video, obviously. But I mainly like how you're getting 3 decks of cards too. And there is even going to be like a special box that's going to come out for this too. Oh, they even have deck boxes. I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool. So that keeps everything separated. So here's the one for Ishizu. We'll go through them here in just a second. I was like, I'm going to have to get like some kind of deck box to put all these in to make sure they're okay. I guess we got our ultra rares. We'll look through those too. Quite a few things in here, so I'm trying to get it all. There's your playmat, of course. And remember, it is different rules than normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it is, you know, you have the 3 monster zones, 3 spell and trap card zones. And even the extra deck, you can only have, I believe, 5 monsters in the extra deck. So basically just a way to not have so many rules thrown at you to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is what I feel like. So let's go ahead and go with this playmat first so you guys can get an idea. It kind of explains how this works too. Because like I said, the main rules are still the same. It just kind of takes some of the older ones together with the new ones. So here's basically the rules for speed dueling and everything. Like I said, it's Duel Links. If you play Duel Links, you know, download it if you haven't already. I mean, it's fun to play. And you even have your new skill cards, like with Yugi, he has Destiny Draw. Which, you know, they all have, like, their different things, too. We'll look through them here in a second. But, yeah, other than that, it's the same basic rules. So it's really not challenging to learn. And, again, I feel like this is a good way to teach people how to play the game. There. Go ahead and move everything out of the way. And let's open up our ultra rares, I guess. I think there's one for each deck of cards, basically. And some pretty cool reprints, too. Alright, so first up we have Shard of Greed for our ultra rare. Looks pretty neat. Then the Golden Apples. And then Mimic Cat, which might be the better reprint of the 3. I wish it would have been like Toon Kingdom, though. Seriously, that would have been awesome. But there we go. Like I said, basically one for each. And let's just go through the decks. So we'll just go with Yugi first. Okay, it has a tab on it. And then you can just kind of unfold it. Alright. So it's kind of like a cardboard pack. I thought it was a little bit more like a deck box. Unfortunately not. Oh well. So basically with these extra cards, you get a field spell, which is now a skill card, though, too. You can tell it's one of the older ones. I can't remember the name right now, unfortunately, but I think it had the same effect. It's an older field spell. It's the one that helps you power up fiends and spellcasters. So you get one of those, and of course on the other side, skill card. Then we also have Destiny Draw. This one's pretty interesting because each one goes with, you know, what that character does. So for example, for Yugi, if on this card, if you lose over 2,000 life points, you're just able to search for a card from your deck and add that to your hand instead of drawing like normal. So it's harder the cards basically, but yeah, it's a skill. So you're allowed to do that, but it's like, you know, how Yugi has that power to get whatever card he needs. That's what's happening from that. So I think that's kind of funny. So like people always say that that's how Yugi cheats, right? Harder the cards is what we call it. Still awesome though. I love how it's like part of it. And then even Final Draw is really similar too, because this one deals with counters, but on this one you get to do that same sort of searching, but also you have to win during that turn. That's why it's called Final Draw. If you don't win during that turn, you lose the duel. So it's kind of another all-out, you know, Destiny Draw kind of thing going on. You better win. So again, very cool on that. And then afterwards, you're just getting, like, there's no new print, like, cards in this. It's all older cards. It's reprints. So we have, like, Dark Magician, Feral Imp, Rogue Doll. A lot of basically starter deck cards. Even Dark Magician Girls right there. Original artwork. Oh, it's kind of cool that Legion is part of this. Fiend Jester. I know that one's in Duel Links a lot. Blue Summoner. Thousand Knives. So it's not all like Yugi's cards either, but it's cards that make sense together. Because I kind of like that too. That way, you know, you can actually use them. And yeah, Magic Jammer and everything too. I mean, nothing, like I said, too crazy on the reprints, but it's what you would expect. So that's the one for Yugi. Now for Pegasus. We'll go with that next. There we go. Basically, first off, Toon World. That's kind of the best way to sum it up. So you still have Toon World, just in a different form, I guess, in this game. Then Mind Scan. This is the one that lets you look at your opponent's spells and traps. And then Millennium Eye, which is the one that lets you look at your opponent's hand. And you can even make it so they return that hand. But you can either like keep the info that you got on them or make it so you get rid of some of their better cards. So if they drew a really good hand, you're like, no, send it back. Or you can just keep it that way and be like, well, I know what you have. So kind of cool. I think he has one of the scarier skills. And then, of course, a lot of his cards in there. Toon Alligator, even. I think it's kind of funny. Parrot Dragon, remember that one. Dark Rabbit, you got to have that. And, of course, you got to have some Toon monsters, too. Toon Summon Skull is kind of his boss monster, sort of, in this. But there's also Relinquish. So you're getting both of his boss monsters, really. Toon Table Contents, that's probably a better reprint. Then there's also still regular Toon World. But, like I said, it's kind of like he has another one. Let's see. Yami, that's the field spell. I knew it was something simple. It's like dark, I think, or darkness for Japan. So there we go. That's the one for Yugi. Jar of Greed, and yeah. So that's everything for Pegasus. And now for Ishizu, which, of course, Gravekeepers. So, and what do we have? There we go. And here's Ishizu's cards, which basically it goes, of course, going with the theme of her being able to see the future. You guys remember that from the show, how the Millennium Necklace lets her see into the future? That's how this deck works too, or skill cards work. So with her first card, basically it lets you look at the top card of your deck and your opponent's deck. So again, being able to see the future on that. Then also Gravekeeper's Lot, which pretty much makes it so instead of normally drawing, you get a search for a Gravekeeper card. Which, I mean, that's obviously pretty good on that. And then Millennium Necklace, again, being able to tell the future where basically you just rearrange your opponent's like top 3 cards on their deck. And that's how it works. And yeah, they'll have that backing on them too. So you don't get them confused with regular Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And then after that, I mean, yeah, you're just getting all these different Gravekeeper cards from that, which is pretty obvious. I mean, yeah. So you're getting like just a couple of each of them, even like Priestess, which that's a pretty good reprint. Even Recruiter, Shaman, and everything too. You're not getting the new cards though. That are, you know, that have been out recently with the new fusion. And yeah, I have Truth and even all that too. Alright, and that's all of Ishizu's cards, so let's go ahead and move on to the other one, which is Duelists of Tomorrow. This is pretty much the same, just the decks of cards are obviously different, and the cards you're going to get. So, there's one for Mai. There's our Ultra Rares. Same playmat, doesn't change on that. Well, there's Joey's. I still wish, though, you could reuse those boxes to kind of keep everything separated. But I think you can keep like everything in like a normal deck box pretty easily, again, because these are not like a regular sized deck of cards. So again, here's the playmat you're getting. Exact same thing. Thought I would just go over it real quick. And yeah, I think even everything's the same exactly. So it's not even different on the 2 different ones. So I thought I would just show that real quick. And let's go ahead and see our Ultra Rares, because again, there's some interesting cards that are reprinted in this. But you're not going to get like Ash Blossom. You know what I mean? It's not like something you're going to get like a really competitive reprint either. So we have a Champion's Vigilance, Fusion Gate, which that one's actually pretty cool looking. I like that. And then Amazon's Village. Again, that's another one I kind of liked from this because it never had a holo printing that I remember. So there you go. You get all 3 on that. And let's just go through these. So we'll start off with Kaiba because it's Kaiba. Alright, and yeah, starting off with Kaiba, basically you're getting Mountain for his field spell. I mean, that's the artwork where it's from and everything too. I remember that one easily. So that's pretty much what's happening on that, Peak Performance. Then we also have Beatdown, which to sum this one up, I'm going to let it, so you guys can actually read the effects if you need to. But to sum this one up, basically, since you're using a lot of powerful monsters, he makes them even stronger. So, because we all know Kaiba's the guy that uses all kinds of really high-level monsters. And you get to even power them up even further because of this card. And then the last one is Dragon Caller, which, again, to summarize this one the best, is that it helps you get a Lord of D and Flute of Summoning Dragon, helping you bring out your powerful dragons, like, obviously, Blue Eyes White Dragon. So, yeah, that's pretty much the best way to sum it up, and there's the backs of those if you want to see it. And, of course, yeah, you got to get a Blue Eyes White Dragon from this. Only one, though. You don't get 3 on that. Battle Ox, get a couple of those. Rikishin Powered. Like I said, it reminds me of his first starter deck. Lord of D, a couple of those. Obviously, Tyrant Dragon, so that's kind of cool. Kaiba Man. That's also pretty good to get, obviously, on that. Flute of Summoning Dragon. To go with your skill card and everything, you got to have that. Cost down. Burst Stream of Destruction. There you go. And there's Mountain as well. And, yeah. I mean, it's pretty much like a starter deck yet again. And with Kaiba, I mean, you're just going to bring out strong monsters and run over your opponent. Now for Joey, because Red Eyes, I've been looking forward to this one. And, of course, here are Joey's skill cards, which basically, it being Joey, you guys know it's all about risk and reward. It's gambling, basically, for him, how he always had that amazing luck that none of us have. But, yeah, that's how skill cards work, because the first one we have is Grit. To summarize it, you call 2 numbers, and you roll a 6-sided die. And if it lands on one of those that you called, basically, until, I believe, your opponent's next turn, until your opponent's next turn, you can't take more than just 1 life point damage. So it's a way that you can make sure that you don't lose a duel, basically, with an effect like this. So, pretty powerful, but again, risk and reward. If you call the wrong number, it's not as good then, right? Then we also have Last Gamble. This is kind of the same idea with the dice and everything. It's just with it, you're reducing your life points to 100, and then you're discarding 2 cards from your hand, and then you roll a 6-sided die. And then whatever it lands on, you draw that many cards. So again, risk and reward kind of thing, but you draw the right cards, game over, again. And then the last one is Palominization. Yeah, that's an interesting name, right? Sounds like Joey, though. Anyway, with this card, it's kind of like a fusion substitute, because with it you reveal a normal monster, and then it can be substituted for a fusion material, but the other fusion material must be the correct one. So basically, it can help you go for his fusion, because like I said, he's the only one out of these 6 so far that are actually using the extra deck and have fusion monsters. And then, of course, going through the rest of his cards, you got to have, Red Eyes, Meteor Dragon, which that's pretty cool to see. Flame Manipulator, just a variety of things. Even Alligator Sword. Again, it reminds me of the starter deck. Of course, even Time Wizard and Little Wing Guard. Copycat, which I can see that being very useful in this, too. Then you got to have Polymerization, of course, too. Stray Lambs. Some pretty interesting cards. Graceful Dice and Skull Dice. I was hoping those would be in there. I didn't really pay attention if those were. Kunai with Chain, you got to have that. You even get Red Eye Spirit, which that's actually pretty good. Then Flame Swordsman, you got to have that. Thousand Dragon, and then Alligator Sword Dragon. So those are your fusions. Like I said, he's the only one that gets them. And pretty good choice, especially Thousand Dragon. That can actually do some damage. So, not bad. Again, you're going with that nostalgia, and if you have some good luck, you could do some crazy stuff with that too. And last one, Mai Valentine. And now, of course, for my skill cards, which, again, we're kind of going back to, like, Duelist Kingdom kind of thing, because with this, it's actually kind of a callback to whenever she had perfume on her cards, so she knew what card she was about to draw. So she was marking her cards, basically. So with this one, we have Aroma Strategy, which makes it so you can just look at the top card of your deck at any time. So, pretty interesting ability on that one. That one I can see as being pretty powerful. Flight of the Harpies, which with this one too, remember, this is all about Harpy Ladies and Amazonas, but this is basically like a way to search for your Harpy Lady cards. It's another one of those where instead of drawing, it's kind of, I think it's pretty much exactly like Ishizu's version of this for Gravekeepers. And then the last one is Tribal Synergy. This one, of course, makes it so that Amazonas and Harpy Ladies actually work together, which is pretty interesting. You can have it where if you have an Amazonas and a Harpy Lady monster in your hand, you could reveal them and draw a card. But if you control both of them on the field, you can draw 2 cards. So it's a draw card, basically, for that. So again, it makes it so it makes sense to use them both together. And then for her cards, I mean, you're getting Harpy Ladies, obviously, 1, 2, and 3. Harpy Lady Sisters, Amazon's Chainmaster, and just the kind of the usual stuff you would expect. Even Birdface, which I love the name of that card. But that is actually really useful for this, too. Elegant Egotist. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things you would pretty much expect from this, too. And she actually has some pretty useful cards, like Windstorm of Edequa. So, yeah, I mean, there we go. That's the opening. I hope you guys have enjoyed. What do you guys think about Speed Duels? Do you like this idea? Do you hate this idea? Let me know. I know some people really don't like change on some things, but I like how this is its own thing. This isn't changing the normal rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! This isn't a new form of summoning, anything like that. This is just a separate thing that still involves the cards. And it also has that nostalgia with it. It can bring back older players, or just players that feel like the game's just too complicated right now. I mean, I like the idea of this. I think it's smart, and I like too, like I said, how it's a separate thing. You know, it does not go with the usual stuff that we have right now. You do not have link summoning and all that too. It's its own format. And I think that's a cool idea. But let me know what you guys think about it. For me, I'm excited to see where this is going to go. It just looks like a lot of fun, a good way to get people back into the game and to duel against friends that maybe they hadn't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In a while, and they won't be so overwhelmed. and we do know, too, that there are actually going to be boxes and more support for this in the future, too. So I hope you guys will enjoy. And, of course, when there is, more packs and stuff released for this, I will definitely do openings on that as well. And like I said, if there are tournaments on this, I might have to check that out. That does sound fun. So, yeah. Just let me know what you guys think. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out. Again, thank you for watching, and of course I will catch you guys later. See ya.